Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits. Welcome to my 27th FlossTube. And today, the day that I'm recording, which is July 10th, is my birthday. So I have like a lot of stuff to share this week, which I guess is kind of making up for the last two FlossTubes. So let's just get started. So I'm going to start this fortnight's FlossTube by talking about some things that came in the mail, which is yay exciting. I spoke about it last FlossTube, then I was hoping it would arrive before today, and it did, which is awesome. So I have a lot of new exciting things to work with. So the first thing I got is some 18 count fabric, which I'll fill the whole screen up with. Super pretty, and it's a really big piece. So I could potentially get a few pieces stitched using it. I don't have any plans on what I want to make with it, but as I mentioned last week, I always want to add some fabric to a 1, 2, 3 stitch order that I place. This was the only one that I got. I restrained myself. I wanted to get heaps more, but I do have quite a bit of fabric still to use. So I just got that fabric, and yeah, like I showed you, I got a really big piece that I'll be able to maybe do some kind of series using. So we'll see what happens with that. I got 2 of these, which is Stitches lotion, to try out. I have one of them downstairs, which I've yet to actually use it, but apparently it's really good for moisturizing your hands while you're stitching so that it doesn't rub off onto what you're working on. And if it does, then it doesn't create like a stain or caked on kind of feel onto the fabric or the floss. So yeah, I'm realizing as I get older that I need to do regular things like moisturizing my hands more often. Getting old is overrated. I also got this, that was loud, sorry. I also got this for my mum because she's coming in like 2.5 weeks to visit, and she is unable to get this, and she saw me using it on one of my streams, and I said, yeah, I'll get you one of these. These things last so long. Like yeah. If you don't know what this is, it's basically conditioner for your floss. You pull out however many strands you want to work with, and then these little grooves that you can see along here, you basically squish your floss into it. Do I have mine here? Hang on. Aha! So this is my one. So you take the lid off and you squish your floss into the little grooves and into the wax stuff. What is this made out of? I can't even remember. Don't know. Stuff. It just says conditioner. It doesn't have ingredients because it's not food. But yeah, you squish it into the little, like in between the grooves, and as you can see, I like to make like a little star shape. And then you put the lid on, and then you pull your floss through, and it conditions the whole strand of floss. I like to like rub it once I've pulled the floss through. I don't have any floss like handy to, but you know what I mean, you just rub it. And it helps so much with fraying, with twisting, like it keeps it from twisting. And I am not certain, but I feel like the stitches sit flatter too. Like they obviously always sit flat, but just that the strands lay down nicely next to each other when you do the top stitch. I don't know how to explain it, but they look a little bit neater, I think. I don't know if that's just a bias or something, but yeah, so I got that. I also got this like bag of, this is stuff for me. I got some little leather thimbles that you stick onto your finger. So I'm gonna save these for when I have done something to like my hand and I need to be able to push the needle in, but the way that I would push it is actually like cut or bruised or something like that. So I'm going to save these. They're reusable as well, so it's not like I can only use them once and there's only 12. Yeah, I'm going to be saving these for when I need them, if that makes sense. I got these double-ended needles for basically I had to look into this of like what they're for, because I'd always been very curious, but basically some people, and this might be you watching, some people stitch with both hands, so they actually have one hand on top and one hand underneath the fabric, and they push it in and then they pull it and then they push and pull and push and pull, and these help the floss from not twisting when you do two-handed stitching. So I got a size that I use quite frequently for my cross stitching, and I wanted to give it a try, so I got them. Hopefully that'll not be too difficult because I've kind of done two-handed stitching before. I can only do it when, well, I mean, anyone can only really do it if your work is being held by something for you. So it will likely be that I will try these on stream, which could be funny. I got this little, like, this was a cheap buy, basically. I saw it on the website and it was like $1 or something. But it's like a little finger magnifying glass, and I don't know, I just thought it was really cute, and it probably won't be very useful, but I got that. I got some Tulip brand cross-stitch needles. Cross-stitch needles, which is not focusing very well. There we go. So Tulip brand make amazing needles. They're super strong. They're like, the way that they make them is like folding in on each other, on itself, to create like really, really strong needles. I've bought very long embroidery needles, so the sharp-ended needles before, and they're amazing. Those needles that I have, they're only useful for hand embroidery because I actually got a really big sized needle, so they're really quite thick. But yeah, I got size 25 tapestry needles, which are cross-stitch needles, so the rounded tip. I'll be taking very good care of these. I got a pink washable fabric marker. So this will be useful because all I have is blue ones, and yeah, I'm hoping that this might help with if I make a grid wrong, or if I want to mark out an embroidery piece that needs different markings from blue, like 2 different colors would be super helpful. So I got that. I didn't actually know that they made that until it popped up on the website. And the other thing I got, I got this actually as well. I've put them into use already. This is a star detailer. Basically, if you know me and you watched me stitching, oh, the light went really dark. Sorry about that. I rely too heavily on the sun for my lighting. If you know me, you know that I am very prone to using as much of the floss as I possibly can, to the point where I will have to continue rethreading my needle for each up and down just to get those last crosses crossed. And this is actually a way to help you by getting through those last couple of stitches to finish the row that you're doing or whatever. You thread it through where you need it to go, either behind the work because you're trying to finish it off, or through a hole, and then you put your floss into the big open bit here, and then it like catches in this bottom bit, and you can just go shoop and it pulls it through. And I also got this thimble, which is resizable for whichever finger or however big your hands are, to to help push my work through. And I've been using the other one of this, and it's taking a little bit of getting used to, just the way that it's made. As you can see, it's like bent outwards. I expected it to sort of bend like around my thumb, but the idea is you actually put it on your middle finger to push in that way. So I think it'll be helpful. It's just, I'm not used to it. Yeah, so oh no, I got this as well. So these are just extension things for my Q-snap, which I was gonna try with this piece. Basically, I can't really show you very easily, but it's just like you attach it and it makes it taller on whichever side, and you kind of need two of them to be able to do that properly. So I got two of those. So that's all the stuff that I bought. It's kind of been, like I said last FlossTube, I've been creating this shopping list for, I'd say like 2 months. So it was cool to get it ordered, basically. Okay, so moving on to stuff that I've done. I haven't finished any pieces. There's no finished objects to share, unfortunately, but I have worked on a lot of different things, and I'll explain like why later on. Gosh, where do I even start? Let's start with the stitch along. I am super behind. So the last part, which is part 6, got released this past Thursday evening. So yeah, I'm really far behind, but that's okay. I have done work on parts 3 and 4, as you can see, and a reminder, for some reason in my head I've decided to work through the color order but backwards. So I've got to double check, but I think I've just finished this lighter green. I've been doing the border up here, but you can see it really well in the sloth here. So I've been working on that lighter green. When I started stitching the sloth, my daughter was like, "Why is it green? Is it green in real life?" I'm like, no, it's creative. So I thought that was funny. But that is still fun to do, and I'm still obsessed with 18 count. I don't understand why. But yeah, so that one is gonna happen. I'll just keep trucking along with that. And I was stitching this outside earlier today, and my youngest is currently a bit scared of being outside because she's frightened of bugs. And I guess that got into my head a little bit, because there is one tiny little stitch here in brown, the dark brown, for an eye of the kangaroo. And every time I was like working on it, and I would look up and like talk to my husband or talk to my daughters or whatever, and then look back down, it would catch my eye, and I'd always kind of be like, because I kept thinking it was a bug. So that's fun. So that one's been worked on. I've also been working on the other Satsuma Street piece. I have to tighten it in the hoop all the time, so we'll just make it look nice before I share it with you. I have finished this bright green. Like, I did all the trees and I finished the mountain here. So I've finished another color, and I've been working on this light green here. I've just started it on this side of the building. So it's coming along. It's coming along. It's definitely looking more like things instead of just blobs, which is always nice. And the trees look really cool the way they are right now. I think that's very fun. They kind of look like fireworks, I think. So yeah, that one's happening. And again, that's on 18 count, so I'm just like, eee! I also have been working on a piece that you guys haven't seen for a while. This is the pink version of one of my patterns, which is called Store Bought. I created 3 color versions, if you don't know, of this pattern, because this initially, to backtrack, I had been working on the wording that goes on this piece for ages and trying to figure out a design to make it look cool. And then I was reached out by someone on Instagram who wanted basically the same wording as a finished piece, but she wanted to have 2 of them with different colors, like as the main focal color, and being the flower in the piece that I ended up making. And I really wanted to make a pink version, but she really wanted a purple and a blue version. So I'm like, well, I'll make the design and then just switch out the colors. And so, yeah, if you do end up getting my store-bought pattern on my website, it comes with the pink, the purple, and the blue versions, so you can pick whichever one you want. So I finished all the cross stitching on this, and as you can see, I've just started on the back stitching, and I'd say this is like 2/3 complete. And once it is complete, I'm going to be taking photos of mine, and I'm likely going to keep this. I don't think I'm going to sell it, but yeah, once it's done, I will add it to the listing so everyone can see the pink version. Because right now you can't tell what kind of pink it is, which is not ideal. Continuing works in progress. Yes, I have a lot. I haven't done a lot on this one since last time, but I know that I worked on it. I have almost finished. I finished all the cross stitching on the little cat, and I started the back stitching just. I did the little mouths. Yeah, this one is cute. I like this one. I need to keep focusing on this one, like, going forward, because I need to get it out the door pretty soon, so yay. So that's that one. And continuing with the Stitch People theme, I have started this one, which I am not going to elaborate on it too much, just in case, but this piece is going to be gifted, and I am really excited about this piece. So it is very likely that I'm not going to get it completed by next FlossTube, and even if I did, I won't be sharing this, most likely. Once it gets to a point where, sorry, I'll start that again. It's going to get to a point where it's going to be really obvious who this is for, and once I hit that point, I will not be sharing what I'm up to with it. I will obviously be taking pictures and stuff like that once it's completed, so I will have stuff to share once it's been gifted, but it's happening, and I think it's very cute. I haven't done a parents holding a kid's arms situation for a while, and I was playing around with how to make it look right, and I think I've done pretty well, because obviously mum and dad are different heights, and so where their arms would bend to hold the little boy's hand, they're not exactly the same. So you can see that this arm is slightly higher than this one. So it's, in a nutshell, it's the little things that make these lovely. So that one's cool, and that one is, and as you can see, I'm working with black. I started the eyes the last time I was working on it. It's happening, but you might not see that one for a while again. The last thing that I've been working on, which you will have seen on my Instagram feed, is Spotify and QR codes. I have been trying to make these work. The QR code is fine. I knew that one would work pretty easily, but this Spotify code is like doing my head in, and it's not a big deal. It was going to be a free, computer just turned on. It was going to be a free pattern anyway. Basically, I did this, and I can understand why this one doesn't work, because I actually did back stitching around all the little bars. And if you don't understand what this is, just to quickly explain, Spotify, if you open the mobile phone app and go to the search thing, and you start you press the search button in the bar at the bottom of the app, you have an option then to press the camera button in that search bar that pops up at the top of the app. If you press that camera button, it acts the same way as a QR code, which is this, which is the square with all the little dots in it, but it's a Spotify specific one. And so they have these kind of like audio file looking things, and you scan that in the app, and normally it knows exactly what song you want to play. So I tested it out. I tested like whether or not I needed the logo to be in those lines in the file that you're provided with. It has the Spotify logo next to it, and you don't need the logo. I know that 100% because I cut it out of the image that I took and scanned it with just the lines, and the app was like, bam, it knew exactly what song I was trying to get it to play. So I thought, well, I could make this work because it's just lines and it's cross stitch. And yeah, so this one definitely doesn't work because the gaps between the lines here are all too thin. And so that's cool, but okay, neighbors, thanks. So that one I've kind of scrapped. I was thinking about cutting off all the lines to see if I could make it work a bit better, but I also have a feeling that the Ada holes on the fabric are confusing it too, so I've just left that one. I've scrapped it, which I should take the needle minder off to sort of indicate to me that it's done. So bye-bye Taco Cat. Anyway, then I grabbed a piece of scrappy even weave, which even weave is when you stitch with even weave, ideally you want to stitch 1/2, which means for every one cross stitch you're skipping a hole. So like that's really loud, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud in the recording. But basically that's this. And unfortunately this doesn't scan either. So I'm pretty bummed because I thought it was going to be a really cute and funny design. I might just wait until they drive away. It's my like literal next door neighbor. I can see them backing out. Go away. My next door neighbor on that side is a car nut, and obviously when I'm sitting here I can see them out of my peripheral vision, and he is like always washing his cars. I don't think he's got very nice cars either, but that's just my opinion. Okay, I think he's gone. Normally he does like a vroom when he leaves, so that didn't happen, so I'm assuming he's gone because I can't hear it anymore. Anyway, I can't really remember where I was up to with explaining this, but this didn't work, and I'm not going to do the back stitch around the edges because the reason I did the back stitching on the edges of this one was the lines were just sort of jaggy a bit because of all the cross stitches. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed. It didn't take long to do this, but yeah. So there was going to be two parts of it. There was going to be the Spotify code and a QR code in the file that you would download. And as you saw, I have done a QR code. Unfortunately, this program that I used to create the QR code was not clear about the fact that it was just a trial. So this QR code does not go anywhere. So I am going to have to restitch this. I found a different application that gives you free QR codes. I was kind of being greedy because I wanted to have the ability to see how many times the QR code was scanned. So this new one is not going to be scanned. Plus the other reason actually was this one did a smaller code. There's how many? 1, 2, 3. There's 10 squares between these dots, like the key dots that target onto the QR code. And I thought that was great because it was a smaller, more condensed code. It would be faster to stitch, which is true. But yeah, I don't want to pay $14 a month or whatever it was just to be able to have this to give away for free. And I have no need to make other QR codes. So I'm going to need to do this one again. I didn't want to explain where this is supposed to go, or it goes to the same place, these two. As you can see, this says our first dance. Oh, that's too close. I've also changed it to our song because that seemed a bit more flexible, but this is using one of my free fonts. So the idea is you could grab that too and you could make your own. Whatever. I didn't want to share where it went, but I feel like it might make people laugh if they know now. And I don't think many people watch my FlossTube, so it goes to Never Gonna Give You Up by whatever his name is. It's a Rick roll, basically. Rick Astley. Yeah. Which, yeah, is like so lame and such an old meme now, but an oldie but a goodie in my opinion. So I'll need to make that again because I want to make sure I stitch it so that there is a proof to me that it works. Yeah. So I've made the new QR code. I've changed the design. I had to edit it because the QR code is now taller and I want to make sure it fits into a 4-inch hoop when you finish stitching it on 14 count. So I will do it again. Whatever. I was gonna unpick this, but now I realized just as I was about to start unpicking it, fuck that, I could just get a new piece of fabric. So I'm just gonna get a new piece of fabric. Anyway, I could unpick that actually, because that's kind of a scrappy piece as is now that I've used it. Yeah, I might do that. All right, anyway, I hate wasting stuff. That is that one. That's a long-winded thing about that. That's just a piece that was supposed to be super quick. That's the thing. I've had this planned for ages and I was gonna release it weeks ago and then I never got around to actually like doing my test stitch because June happened. And I'm so glad I didn't just release it and assume that it was going to work because it's been this. So yeah, that is the end of my works in progress. And oh my God, I'm just looking at my camera and it's telling me how long I've been rambling. And I've got so much more that I want to talk about. This is going to be a long FlossTube. I am sorry. I have my little list of stuff. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is last weekend, I went away on a solo kid and spouse free trip for like roughly 36 hours. And that's why I was able to get so much done, because the idea of the getaway was for me to do jack shit, pretty much. I left just after my kids went to bed on Friday evening, and I spent all of Saturday just doing whatever I wanted, and I left sort of mid to late morning on Sunday to get back home. And apart from the fact that the bed was terrible, the Saturday evening I got less than 3 hours sleep. Like the bed was that bad. The couch was kind of falling apart. There was a rug in the middle. I stayed at a tiny house, so it was like this tiny little place. I didn't care about going somewhere super fancy or super big or whatever. I just wanted somewhere that was safe and had its own bathroom and own kitchen, so that I could just be alone and like left alone. So yeah, there was like this main area of everything except the bathroom, where there was this big shag pile rug. And when I got there, I took off my shoes and socks and I took maybe 2 or 3 steps onto this rug to put some stuff in the fridge, and there was just like sticky, crunchy things in this rug. I'm just like, oh, that's really nasty. So I wore my socks the entire time. So apart from the bad things, oh, and the toilet seat was broken. Every time I got up from the toilet, it had this big crack in the seat and it would pinch the crap out of the back of my legs. So that was not fun. But apart from the negatives, it was so nice. All I did was just watch television and stitch and eat crap food. Like that is perfect to me. So as I've demonstrated, I got a lot of stuff stitched. I was kind of miffed because I designed and stitched this during that time, and because it didn't work, it felt like such a waste of my precious free time. But anyway, so that was really nice, and I would love to be able to try and do that bi-monthly or something, or maybe like once a quarter in a year. So I'm definitely going to be pushing for that with my husband. My kids had a great time with Dad, and I remembered to take the car seats out of my car so that I could take my car, because I don't like driving my husband's car and he doesn't like driving my car, so it worked out fine. And my kids were like so excited to ride in Dad's car, because whenever we go somewhere, we're always just going in my car. But yeah, it was really nice. I didn't want to come back, honestly. But yeah, I'm back. So I had planned on doing more video content while I was there, just while I was doing stuff, like stitching and things like that. But I was just super uncomfortable on the couch, and I didn't bring a very good tripod with me to be able to just set up and record with my phone. So like things to remember for next time it happens, because video content just performs so much better on the internet, and that's just frustrating, but it's a reality. And yeah, whatever. It was fun, and we'll definitely be going somewhere else. So what else has happened? The next thing I want to talk about is I want to do a giveaway, because this is the last FlossTube in the first year of doing my FlossTube. I started FlossTube on the 18th of July, and today is the 10th. So the next time I release a FlossTube is going to be 1 year, and I want to do a giveaway. But the thing is, I'm going to give the winner of my giveaway, my FlossTube giveaway, the option of either digital stuff or physical stuff. So what do I mean by that? If the person decides that they want digital stuff, they will be able to select things from my collection of patterns. I haven't really thought out like how many or which ones or whatever, but it will likely be something like they will get all of my fonts for free, or they could pick a dozen patterns, whether that be fonts and regular patterns, or they might get all of my embroidery patterns for free. I haven't knuckled that down yet, but they will get a bunch of stuff just emailed to them, and they can do with what they want, given the usual constraints of not sharing the pattern and stuff like that. Or if they pick a physical one, I have stuff to mail. So I have this blue fabric, which I was gifted. So yes, I am re-gifting a couple of things, but I was gifted this, and I don't have a need for a blue like this, so I want to give it to someone who might actually use it. There's a bunch of stuff that like I use often that I want to like share to people. So this fray check, I super recommend this for making sure that your work, when you've finished it, or even before you start working on it, it makes sure that your work doesn't come apart, like the fabric around the edges. I love this stuff. A bunch of just skeins of floss, D-star thing, and this thing. This is why I got 2 of these. My brain's just stopped working. Oh yeah, and these. So this is a little needle minder. It's got the extra needle on it too. And this little washi tape, it just says floss on it. So it's just like a bunch of cool things that are stitchy related, or things that I highly recommend. And it's not limited to that, but like that's an example of what the winner would get. I will be like announcing it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I will try and remember to do some kind of different video on YouTube that is an example of like what you can win next week, fingers crossed, because yeah, I'm in awe that I've kept this up for a year, and I want to celebrate that. So yeah, the person can either pick one or the other, digital or physical. If it's physical, you can only get the physical stuff if you're a winner within the US. If you're a winner and you're interstate from the United States of America, then you would just get the digital option. So what else has happened? So as I mentioned, today is my birthday. I am in my mid-30s, which, like, mumbling that, it just feels so conditioned to not talk about how old you actually are once you're like past your mid-20s. I have turned 36 today, which doesn't feel right, I'll be honest. I don't feel like I'm in my mid-30s, but I'm here. And I got a bunch of cute things from my family. One thing that I got, which I asked for and I received a couple of days ago, is this, which is like a health tracker that doesn't have a screen, which I'm hoping is going to be a good thing. I have missed wearing a watch. I didn't realize how much I looked at the time during the day, but I have my phone for that. I know that the distractions of notifications on my wrist was really bothering me. So I've also been following this brand for a number of years and wanted to get their leaf that they have. Like that was when I saw their first version of leaf when it came out. That's how long I've been following them. And I just like the idea of how they go about trying to improve your health and mental health as well as physical health. So yeah, I've been wearing this for 3 days, I think now, and it's still learning me, but it is definitely helping change a couple of mental roadblocks, and that's kind of what I hope for. So I got this, and I got this. I'll share a photo of what my oldest daughter got me, and I'm told that when she picked this, my husband was like, "You know that this is for mum, right?" And she's gone, And he said something like, "It's not for you. You understand that, but she might share." And she's apparently just gone, "Yes, for mum." So I got this from her. I got from my youngest. I didn't bring it upstairs, but I got a candle, like a really big candle that actually turns into like a fancy cup once it's all melted. But I got this, which like, isn't this the cutest? It's all squishy and it smells like the candle actually. But like, how cute is this? If you don't know me personally, one of my favorite treats is movie popcorn. Like that, whenever I'm on my period, I just want to eat movie popcorn, like by the fistful. I love it. I've always loved it. And she loves it too. She adores popcorn. So she got me popcorn and it's just the cutest. It's got little legs and everything. So I love this, and it's living up here. My husband got me a bunch of little figurines from the latest Animal Crossing game, and they're really high quality. I need to bring them upstairs, but my kids were just like doting on them, so I left them downstairs for a little bit longer. I also got this massive bag of Haribo because I love these gummy bears, and I actually haven't eaten any of these yet. My kids have been eating them. And I got some really nice lint balls. They're like truffle flavor. So I've had one of those, and I'm probably gonna eat more tonight once they're gone to bed. So it's been a very nice birthday, and I got a very funny card from my husband and very cute cards from my kids. So I'm also getting all of this time, which if I look on my phone screen, my camera screen, obviously this is not the correct time for when you're watching it because I edit like a mad woman. But I am at 48 and a half minutes recording, which is just like unheard of. So I'm getting a lot of time to myself for my birthday too. And my husband went out with my youngest this morning before I woke up, and he got waffles from this like hole in the wall place that's near our house that he went with my two kids while I was away last weekend. And I was like super envious because I've been hearing amazing reviews about this waffle place and I'd still never been to it. So yeah, he went and got waffles for us for breakfast. And I'm still eating my lunch. I'm actually not. I'm going to eat it when I'm finished recording. But for dinner tonight, I said I wanted to have pizza because I don't want to cook. I don't want him to cook. And the only other thing that is kind of nearby that I don't really dislike. Actually, there's two things. There's this ramen place, but I'm not really a fan of it. And there's McDonald's. And McDonald's is really far away, and I know my kids would love it, but oh my God, I'm so sick of McDonald's. So I like the pizza that's nearby here. So we're gonna have pizza for dinner because it's my birthday, and that's what I decided. All in all, it's not a bad birthday. The last thing that I want to talk about, hopefully the last thing, because I say that and every time while I'm editing, I'm like, this isn't the last thing. This is like the third last thing, but whatever. I am considering making or setting up my Ko-fi page, which if you're not sure about it, it's the donation thing that I have where you can donate a handful of floss, basically. So you can pick like an amount to send to me. I also use it as a payment portal for my commissions, and there's also a membership thing there, which is basically like sending a couple of bucks to me each month, which, you know, is super awesome. Like when, for me, like that's, I'm very, very humbled about the fact that I've got one person that signed up for that. So, oh my gosh. But on that membership thing, I am considering setting it up so that every pattern I release, if you're a member on Ko-fi, you will get it for free. If you've been following me for a while, you know that my releasing of patterns is pretty sporadic, but on average, that's like one pattern a month, 1 to 2 a month. It'd be more like 1.5 a month, but you can't have half a pattern, you know. It would not include things like samplers or stitch-alongs, but everything, the fonts, the decor elements, the cross-stitch and embroidery patterns, all of that, you'd get it if you're a member. You wouldn't get everything that's happened before you sign up, but everything going forward, and maybe like the one beforehand that you may have missed, you get that for free. As long as you stay a member, you'll continue getting whatever I release for free. So if that's something that sounds pretty cool to you, let me know in the comments. I would need to sort of work out how I would do that. I know there's a way to do something like that, even if it's just like, I have to do it manually, whatever. Just side note, I've just remembered something. So this is not the last thing, just to be clear. So yeah, if that sounds really cool to you, let me know. I want feedback on the things that I have planning, because if something seems cool to me, but no one's interested in it, then why should I put time and effort into doing that thing? So yeah, let me know. The last thing is, over the last few days, I've been making shrinky dinks with my youngest daughter. You may have seen on my Instagram what I've actually been making, but I have to share this because I'm kind of obsessed. I decided to trace my logo, like over my phone. I traced it on the screen, and I made my logo into a little keychain, and I am just like obsessed with this. I don't know why, like I only had 2 colors that I could really use because I didn't have a big selection of colors. So I had orange and brown, which is not exactly like my logo, but you know, it looks exactly like it. Like it looks pretty similar, you know, it's like pretty cool, and it dangles. Yeah, I don't know what to do with it, but I really like it. And I had a couple of people in my messages say to me, you should make that into a needle miter. I'm like, I shouldn't I? So I'm gonna make another one, because this one has the little hole for the keychain bit, and I don't want a needle miter like that. And once it shrinks, I will paint the backside white, because then when I stick a needle to it, not a needle, a magnet to it, you won't just see the magnet, because it is clear, like you can see through it. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's everything. Thank you so much for sticking with me. This is a long FlossTube. Oh, I'll just check my notes actually. Yep. That's everything. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the membership thing. and the giveaway for 1 year of FlossTube. I'd love to know. And if you feel so inclined, leave me a happy birthday in the comments. That would be great. And don't forget to like it and share it with your friends and all of that cool stuff. So until next FlossTube, I will see you around the internet. Bye!